what do we got?
Just came in. Heart attack. 5'9", 300 pounds, 32 years old.
How the hell does that happen?
Can I get a, Could be developing diabetes. You have to make a change. Oh, yeah.
You're graduating! Watch TV. You won't even have to leave.
You can't do this.
Yes, can I get a...
Yeah, no, deep dish.
You have to make a change. Good job, Jim. You got an A+. Here are your fries, sweetie. You go. I still can't believe you give this child french fries. I know, but it's the only thing that'll make him stop.
In a recent national survey, Americans were asked what their biggest concerns are today, 2016, and the number one answer was healthcare. The cost of healthcare has risen substantially, and more Americans are falling ill. Our government has failed to protect us, and now less Americans are enjoying a fulfilling life. Pseudo-solutions are the only thing given to us, costly medications to numb or hide the real issue. But what exactly is the real issue? In 2014, Americans spent nearly $374 billion on prescribed medication, and that number is only rising. Death rates have risen in every category, but especially in those of 45 to 54 years of age. While death rates rise due to severe illnesses like heart attack and cancer, suicide due to abuse of prescription medication has risen above all. We are left with two options: prescribe yourself to dangerous and addictive medication that cost a fortune, or learn to live with the pain. Most of us have spent many years working very hard for our families and to prosper in our American dream, given to us by our parents, who fought hard and proud to live free. But how can we live free if the very thing set to protect our freedom is behind our misery? There is one single reason why so many Americans feel sick. This was once an isolated issue, but now 1 in every 8 adults globally is at an extreme risk of a serious illness. What is causing this epidemic? Why do Americans continue to get sick even though most of us are already prescribed to so much medication? We decided to take a closer look and determine why. Dr. David Leonardi and a group of young experts in health and wellness have taken on the task, looking over hundreds of documents and clinical research studies to determine a common factor. Dr. Leonardi has spent over 18 years researching the science of longevity and spent many years in emergency medicine. He decided to make a change in his career after he grew tired of treating victims in the ER room versus preventing them. After countless man-hours and in collaboration with research conducted at Harvard Medical School, Stanford School of Medicine, and Cornell Medical, we have determined a source to this epidemic. We may now know why millions of Americans are suffering from horrible illness. We have determined that 100% of us do this every single day, and therefore, we may all be at risk. We made this video presentation to inform the general public of this culprit. Most of us don't know this, but a recent study determined that 40% of Americans will be diagnosed with cancer at one point in their lives. This means that if you go to your Facebook page and count 10 friends, 4 of them may have cancer at one point. Why? Because even though the big foods conglomerates spend billions to keep this from being released to the general population, we are prepared to take it public and spend as much as it takes to make this message viral. Processed meats, such as those found in fast foods, are ranked alongside cigarettes as a major cause of cancer, placing them in the same category as asbestos, alcohol, arsenic, and tobacco. How is it possible that our number one source of food is now a leading cause in cancer? It's not meat itself that is causing this illness, but instead the hundreds of additives and dangerous hormones found in almost all of our food. Preservatives are added to your meat to make it appear fresher. Chemicals are added to your water to make it appear cleaner. And hormones are added in your poultry to make it appear more plentiful. Our research has led us to a U.S. government scandal that connects government officials to the involvement in this epidemic. Billions of dollars are on the line, and the profits are endless, so much that every organization involved is now part of the elite 1%. We waited a couple months before exposing this shocking discovery because we wanted to have a solution available. A solution that is both less expensive than a cup of coffee a day and proven to improve the lives of many. The research used to develop this solution is straight from the labs of Harvard. It's quickly gaining the controversial reputation of the God vitamin, and in some circles is being touted as the real-life limitless pill. Because this solution focuses on the key points of our research, many users have reported high levels of energy, increased cognitive function, better sleep, and even weight loss. Some have even reported more impressive results I will share with you in a moment. To fully understand how this at-home solution will benefit your everyday life and prevent this culprit from increasing your chances of illness, make sure you watch this entire presentation. If you do not believe that there is something out there that can help you feel stronger, faster, lighter, smarter, and younger, then I encourage you to stick around. Our amazing discovery will undoubtedly change your mind. The legitimacy of our scientific research will solidify every claim we make, and we are certain that your life will change forever after you finish watching this presentation. One way or another, you will be informed, and you will no longer wonder why you feel so tired every single day or why so many of us suffer. But before we continue with this human health report, we want to introduce Zidnia Ayala. Zidnia Ayala came to us with concerns about her family history. Her eldest sibling had started to show symptoms of a dangerous illness she worried was a trait in her bloodline. She spoke with us and addressed her concerns and wanted a solution not only for herself, but for her other siblings as well. We explained to her the probability of this illness and started her with 250 milligrams of NR for 30 days. Amazingly, Zidnia contacted back within a couple of weeks with this message.
Hi everyone. Hope that things are good in your personal lives as in your professional journey. Just a note to let you know, NR has been working great in my life. My sister, who suffers from fibromyalgia and arthritis, just called this Saturday and told me that she doesn't remember the last time she felt so great. She said that she wakes up now and feels energetic and wants to clean and organize her house, and that is something she stopped doing many years ago. Her husband and daughters were the ones doing everything, but now she has been up cooking and moving around, cleaning, and back to being more independent. Right now, I have my sisters and 2 friends on your product, and of course me. Thank you very much for your support. God will bless you and your company, because for a fact, you guys are on my prayer wall.
There is something amazing to get out of this presentation. Perhaps a better life. The choice is yours to stick around and make a difference for yourself. So let's get started with what will be the most controversial video on human health you will ever watch. We will begin by showing the human body, how it generates energy, and how this process is linked to accelerated aging and other serious illnesses such as cancer and heart disease. We will go over some of the most dangerous additives found in your food and how they're affecting your body every single day. We will uncover a controversial FDA decision that changed the course of American health forever. This FDA decision has been linked to diabetes, obesity, and even heart disease. Millions of Americans have fallen victim due to this horrific event. We will also be revealing a simple at-home solution that has revolutionized the medical community, re-evaluating the importance of cellular vitality. There is a way to feel great, and if you're like the millions of Americans who take medication and supplements every single day, it's time you cut back on that cost and replace it with one solution. So let's begin. Inside all of us are trillions of cells. Cells play an extremely vital role in the human body. Your cells are responsible for delivering oxygen to your organs, like your brain and heart. They produce energy that supplements the function to your entire body and make up about 10% of your body weight. Extensive research has focused on the mitochondrial function, the part of the cell that creates energy. Mitochondria are responsible for converting energy from the food you eat. Carbohydrates, fats and proteins are broken down inside your cells into components that enter the mitochondria. These macronutrients undergo a complex series of biochemical transformations that generate energy. This energy-intensive process results in a constant exposure to free radicals and rendering the mitochondria especially vulnerable to oxidative damage. The result is a cellular breakdown. The mitochondria gradually deteriorate, leading to a decrease in vital energy production and a deadly increase in free radical generation. Over time, this continuous free radical onslaught destroys the mitochondria through progressive membrane damage and molecular decay. As levels of oxidative damage from mitochondria dysfunction steadily rise, the body's antioxidant defenses gradually weaken at the same time, accelerating cellular dysfunction and death. This fatal cycle speeds the general decline in overall body function and contributes to the beginning of degenerative disease. Mitochondrial dysfunction has been linked to an array of degenerative illnesses, ranging from diabetes and neurological disorders to heart failure. But along with this discovery, scientists found that mitochondrial dysfunction is why humans age. Your cells wear and tear as they perform their job, and this inevitably slowly deteriorates them, becoming less productive and therefore dying. But in 2007, a group of researchers reported a major but little-known breakthrough in our understanding of how mitochondrial dysfunction develops and what can be done to protect yourself against its lethal impact. They discovered that potentially deadly defects in human mitochondria, including molecular decay and membrane injury, begin to appear nearly a decade before the onset of permanent damage to the DNA. More importantly, their analysis revealed that in its initial stages, mitochondrial dysfunction is reversible, enabling the life and health of cells to be prolonged at the molecular level. The key lies in early interventions to ensure optimal mitochondrial function before irreversible DNA damage occurs. Our food gives us energy. Macronutrients and anything added to your food, whether a preservative, pesticide, or hormone, are carried over into your body and processed. Macronutrients are turned into energy, and the excess compounds are left to be turned into a dangerous culprit. Unfortunately, too much of our food is now infected with this culprit responsible for so many illnesses. There is a serious issue going on with our food, an epidemic almost. Whether chosen to look the other way or completely unaware of the fact, we are led to believe that what we eat is pure, that our food is natural and only the best. In an industry where billions are on the line and controlled exclusively by the elite 1%, your food is manipulated and made to keep you hooked. So before your food makes it to your plate, profits are distributed amongst the riches and the government agency established to protect us. The facts are clear. There is something being added to your food that is slowly killing you. A preservative commonly used in red meat is sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrates are used to keep meat red, making it appear fresh and desirable. While many will argue that nitrate is also naturally found in vegetables like broccoli and therefore couldn't possibly be bad for you, miss one very important fact. Sodium nitrate, when introduced to high heat and amino acids, form the carcinogenic N-nitroso family of compounds. These compounds have been linked to cancer in many clinical studies, to even one report showing the significant development of brain tumors. Meat is made up of amino acids. Meat needs to cook under high heat before you can eat it. When you add this combination with sodium nitrate, you get a very dangerous culprit. A culprit now considered as dangerous as cigarettes and asbestos. The big food companies work very hard to keep this message from coming out, spending millions of dollars lobbying against any measure that brings exposure. Like a 2012 California state proposition that required food manufacturers to label whether their products contain genetically engineered food. This proposition was quickly struck down after major food companies rallied against it, spending over $45 million opposing the measure. The agriculture and food production industry employs more than 1 billion people as of last year, or a third of the global workforce. While the industry is substantial, A relatively small number of companies wield an enormous amount of influence. With over $2 trillion in revenue and billions in profit, these corporations are so powerful that their policies can have a major impact on the diets and health conditions of people worldwide, as well as on the environment. In other words, these companies control the world. But how do these organizations come to power? How did so much money come into the pockets of these global giants? The answer is through addiction. The top 10 food manufacturers made their fortune in the early 1900s when food regulations were minimal, to say the least. Ingredients like sugar and monosodium glutamate were being added to our food supply. Both of these killer ingredients have addictive properties to them. While sugar releases endorphins, though similar to cocaine use, monosodium glutamate, or MSG, has shown through research to inhibit the I'm full part of the brain, causing you to eat more and more. Things quickly changed once the effects of these deadly ingredients became apparent. In 1955, American health was on high alert. Just having suffered a catastrophic heart attack, President Eisenhower would not return to office for at least 8 weeks. Americans were in fear of this rising risk and demanded answers. Researchers quickly determined that fat and sugar found in our food was the cause of our rising mortality rate. Americans quickly changed their eating habits, refusing to eat anything high in fat and sugar. This was costing the large food companies billions of dollars, so they scrambled to produce the next killer ingredient. This is the story of how aspartame, a deadly ingredient, made it to our food supply. It all started in 1965 when G.D. Searle synthesized aspartame for the first time, a food additive that was zero in fat and sugar, yet made food taste great. After several attempts, the FDA rejected the approval of aspartame due to its questionable clinical results. This did not sit well with Searle, and in 1973, they introduced over 100 studies demonstrating that aspartame presented no immediate danger to human consumption, studies they themselves funded. This later led to the approval of aspartame. Then in 1976, U.S. Attorney General Samuel Skinner was ordered to review aspartame's approval after allegations on tampering and manipulating test results came to light. Searle was immediately ordered to cease all marketing, sales, and distribution on aspartame. In 1977, G.D. Searle appointed a new CEO assuring that this individual would get aspartame approved by the FDA. This man was Donald Rumsfeld, the same Donald Rumsfeld from the Bush administration. Rumsfeld's first act was to end the investigation the U.S. Attorney's Office had on Searle because he knew approval from the FDA would never happen, so as long as they were being investigated. So Rumsfeld secretly met with the attorney investigating him, Samuel Skinner, and offered him a job, which he accepted. Skinner resigned as Attorney General, causing delays in the case on Searle. The case was later dropped due to lack of evidence and statutes of limitations. On January 20, 1981, while Ronald Reagan was being sworn in as president, Rumsfeld, who was still CEO at Searle and part of Reagan's transition team, established a special interest setting his plan in motion. He and Reagan handpicked Dr. Arthur Hull Haynes, Jr. to be the new FDA commissioner. On January 21, 1981, a day after Ronald Reagan's inauguration, Reagan issued an executive order granting Searle the ability to reapply to the FDA for approval to use aspartame in food. Hayes, Reagan's new FDA commissioner, appointed a 5-person scientific commission to review the decision. It soon became clear that the panel would uphold the ban by a 3-2 vote, so Hayes installed a 6th member on the commission, and the vote became deadlocked, 3-3. He then decided he too should get a vote considering he was the FDA's commissioner, voting in aspartame's favor and getting it approved. One of Hayes' first official acts as FDA chief was to approve the use of aspartame as an artificial sweetener in dry goods. In order to accomplish this feat, Hayes had to overlook the grand jury investigation of Searle and pretend aspartame did not chronically sicken and kill thousands of lab animals. Hayes left his post at the FDA in November 1983 after accusations that he was accepting corporate gifts for political favors. Just before leaving office in scandal, Hayes approved the use of aspartame in beverages. In 1985, and still CEO of Searle, Donald Rumsfeld met with his board of directors to get the approval to sell GD Searle to a very interested and powerful buyer, Monsanto. If you are not familiar with Monsanto, they are the company responsible for Roundup, Agent Orange, and GMO. The sale of Searle was approved, and in that same year, 1985, every member of the Searle team became multimillionaires, and in return, Americans got aspartame. Aspartame is still widely used in beverages and in children's juice, cereal, and candy. Some believe this is why childhood obesity has more than doubled in children and quadrupled in adolescents in the past 30 years. It is very clear that our government agencies, who are set to protect us, are only interested in their monetary gains. The FDA continues to approve very controversial foods still to this day, like the approval of genetically modified salmon. Salmon is now a genetically engineered food, twice as large as a normal salmon. Investors are extremely excited at the amount of return these larger fish can produce. Natural salmon is imported exclusively from Norway, Chile, and Scotland, and can only grow during spring. GMO salmon comes from two types of fish, an Atlantic salmon and a Chinook salmon. The specific species can grow year-round, allowing them to reach over twice the size and in a matter of 16 to 18 weeks versus the standard 3 years. These changes in gene structure have many doctors and nutritionists worried. The FDA has approved the sale of these GMO fish, completely ignoring the countless clinical studies that show a significant increase in cancer from the consumption of these types of foods. Many retailers refuse to carry this product because they too see the potential risks from consuming genetically modified food. Our cellular structure is burdened with the production of energy, and this production already develops a byproduct that is linked to the inefficiency of our cells. Inefficient cells behave poorly and divide into more than less efficient cells. The cellular imbalance continues to quantify, resulting in a body of only poor and underperforming cells. This is why millions of Americans feel fatigue and discomfort every single day. Before your food makes its journey to energy production, it travels through your stomach. The effects of these additives are apparent at this stage as well. Artificial sweeteners, such as aspartame, have been linked to cause holes in the intestinal wall. These microscopic holes leak bacteria into your bloodstream, causing inflammation, joint pain, and muscle pain. But the harm does not stop there. Consuming artificial sweeteners is dangerous for one very important reason. They are between 200 to 600 times sweeter than regular sugar. Now, why is this important? Studies show that your tongue works as a pre-indicator of what your stomach is to expect. When you eat these super sweet, dangerous foods, your body immediately sends a message to your liver telling it to flush all the current sugar found in your body and turn it into fat. Continually doing this will only increase your sugar tolerance, increase your body fat, and lead you to an illness known as fatty liver, which affects over 80 million Americans. Fatty liver disease has shown to significantly increase your chances for diabetes. Now, it's great to know and understand how your diet is affecting your everyday life, but have you considered the obvious question? What do we do next? If the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe is slowly and inevitably killing us, what can we do to subsidize a healthy lifestyle? It seems as if everything is working against us, and the only solution is either adopting a super healthy regimen or spending thousands of dollars on numbing medication that only bring worse side effects. We live in an era where capital gains outweigh safety and quality. Are these same rules being applied to your life? Are there monetary gains at the expense to your well-being? Many Americans would agree that we are heading in the wrong direction and that health is only worsening. We demand a viable solution that works, a solution that is affordable, and a solution that encourages life versus destroying it. Dr. Leonardi, along with Dr. David Sinclair of Harvard, Dr. Charles Brenner of Iowa University, and many others agree that a solution exists, and that solution lies in your NAD+ levels. NAD+ is a critical component found in all cells and a key performer in the production of energy and mitochondrial function. But unfortunately, NAD+ levels drop by as much as 50% as we age. To explain more thoroughly the effects of NAD+ is Dr. David Leonardi himself.
Hi, this is Dr. David Leonardi, MD. Science has allowed us to communicate with our cell's mitochondria, restore its production properties, and therefore create a much more efficient cell structure. Sinclair discovered a key role of NAD+ biosynthesis in aging, realizing that higher NAD+ levels promote cells to behave younger and more vibrant due to their strong communication line with the nucleus. NAD+ is an important metabolite in all human cells that restores mitochondria's communication and vitality. Studies show that high levels of NAD+ result in stronger, healthier cells and cell function. In fact, one study resulted in Sinclair publishing a groundbreaking paper which found that introducing NAD+ to the cell resulted in the equivalent of a human's 60-year-old mitochondria becoming more like those of a 20-year-old, claiming we went straight back to being young again. This amazing discovery led us to understand NAD+ and how essential it is to our cellular health. But it also led us to another harsh reality, another bump in the road. Studies revealed that as we age, not only do we lose our ability to produce NAD+, but also decline in NAD+ levels itself, resulting in a continuous deterioration of your health and performance. Mitochondrial decline is the hallmark of many diseases associated with aging, such as cancer and neurodegeneration. Every sign of old age is a sign of your cells producing less energy. Dr. David Agus, a world-leading physician in cancer treatment and a pioneer in biomedical research, wrote, NAD+ levels tend to drop by as much as 50% as we get older. If we could restore what's lost, aging cells might behave as if they were younger. Immortality is out of reach, but living more years with a body that's robust enough to make the most of them is a real possibility. But there's another issue. NAD+ cannot be taken like other vitamins because it doesn't survive the digestive system long enough to enter your cells. So once again, this had scientists scrambling for answers. We now know more about cell functionality, the roles of mitochondria, and how essential they are to our overall health. We understand NAD+ and its vital role in fueling your body with the needed power and energy it requires. But what I haven't revealed is what I consider the secret weapon to this entire equation. The most vital component to triggering your body to begin its rejuvenation process and access the untapped energy and strength you so desperately need. Imagine if the cells in your brain were restored to regain their cognitive abilities, or if the cells in your eyes performed like never before, to even restoring the cells in your skin and muscles to appear and perform like they did in their youth, are all now possible. Let me introduce to you Niagen, the only proven NAD+ booster on the market, the future of dietary supplementation. Niagen is a proprietary ingredient formulated by the very respected and innovative California-based company Chromadex. Chromadex took the extra step and developed Niagen, also known as Nicotinamide riboside, or NR for short. Niagen is the only proven metabolite shown to boost NAD+ levels, and the best part is it's a naturally occurring vitamin B3, so it's completely safe. And unlike NAD+, Niagen can be ingested orally. It enters your body to be converted into NAD+, surviving your digestive system. The bottom line is that Niagen improves the function of mitochondria. When I first got introduced to Niagen, I was excited, yet skeptical about what it claimed to do. So I personally gave it a try. And let me tell you, after only 5 days, I began to feel something incredible. A surge of energy and strength with a mental focus so unreal I decided to learn a new language, and I did. My memory was incredibly accurate, and recalling past events was quick and easy. I immediately became so hooked that I raced to my phone to call my contact at Chromadex. I begged and begged for more, and thankfully my contact pointed me in the right direction. He introduced me to High Performance Nutrition, or HPN for short. There I met Sean Torbati, the CEO of HPN. I immediately became enlightened with his vision and motivation to deliver the world's most superior products and information to live healthier, fuller lives. Everything has its order and purpose, Sean would always say, and he was right. He helped me lose some extra pounds because I too struggled with weight gain due to my older age. So Niagen was a blessing for me as well. I'm so excited that I'm now offering it to all my patients and anyone who wants to take advantage of something so extraordinary it's changing people's lives every day. Now, my experiences are personal, and not everyone will see the same results. So, for legal purposes, I have to tell you that results do vary. Regardless, this hasn't stopped thousands of individuals like you from taking advantage of what Niagen has to offer. I'm so excited to share this product that I decided to join the High Performance Nutrition's Advisory Board to help bring this message to everyone. There is hope out there. You just need to reach out for it. I have heard more success stories than I can recall. We get tons of mail from those who have had the privilege to get their hands on Niagen, with how happy they are with the product. But my favorite has to be from James P. from Palm Springs, California. James writes, "It makes sense that I would be in this situation. After my wife passed 10 years ago from cancer at the age of 42, I completely let myself go in more ways than just my physical health. Our daughter was off to college that year, so the plan was always to travel together and see the world. But losing her was a blow so strong that I settled into the idea that I would never get back up. I was done. When I did manage to get myself together, just enough to be a father to my daughter, an overwhelming fear consumed me. I worried for my health. I was 48 at the time and weighed 255 pounds. I was partly depressed and extremely unmotivated. I wanted to get back out there and meet new people, add purpose to my life. But I was very overweight, and any kind of physical activity was out of the question. I was constantly catching my breath. My self-esteem was at its lowest. This continued for about 2 years, and on my 50th birthday, as a gift, my daughter signed me up with a health specialist. She did a little bit of research on the internet and found a company online who not only supplied meal and workout plans, but also had a list of products that delivered amazing results. One particular product, Niagen, has been life-changing for me. We all know that exercise and healthy eating are crucial to feeling and looking great, but not everyone is the same. Some of our bodies don't take advantage of every nutrient we eat, making it more difficult for you to reach your goals. This is a problem at the cellular level. I know that now. When I started taking Niagen, after the first 30 days, I didn't feel a thing. I was so disappointed that I was thinking about giving up again. But I stuck to it, and on about the 45th day, I noticed something amazing immediately after I woke up. I felt rested and motivated. From that moment on, I've been active almost every single day, working out and staying focused, getting closer to my goal. I currently have a girlfriend, and we're both active every day. I truly feel like my 30s. I feel that same drive I felt with my early wife. I feel like myself again. It took me almost 8 years to get myself together to what I am today. Every day I have the strength to change and become someone new. This experience has been life-changing. I'm happy to say it's finally a change for the greater. Thank you, Dr. Leonardi, and thank you, HPN, for helping me get my life back. James P. from Palm Springs, California. That story always brings joy to me. The struggles James had to overcome, and yet he superseded and came out on top. Thank you, James, for sharing. You're an inspiration to us all. Again, I have to remind you for legal purposes that results do vary. even though the enormous amount of hours in research and developments say otherwise. That's why I recommend you visit our website and read for yourself every research paper and lab study on Niagen. What I'm telling you is not dubious or preposterous information. No, what I just shared with you is the next evolution of human existence. I invite all of you to create your own personal journeys to a healthier life, just like James did. And it can all start with 2 small capsules a day. So if you're absolutely serious about making a change in your life, then I invite you to click on the button below and claim your bottle of Niagen for only $59.99. And if you act now, Hi, Dr. Leonardi here. Since the release of this video, I've received a tremendous amount of feedback and support from thousands of individuals who have taken Niagen. So much so that we're starting to have an inventory issue. But the one comment I hear the most is how some individuals would love to give Niagen a try, but find it to be a bit too expensive. Well, we hear you loud and clear. We've decided to drop the price of Niagen to our all-time lowest price of $46.99. You can have Niagen for as low as $1.56 a day. That's less expensive than the average cup of coffee. There are no hidden fees or tricks to this offer. We just managed to work in a bit more savings for you. In addition, we're granting an extra 30 days to our money-back guarantee to a full 60 days. That's how confident we are in Niagen. This means you can go ahead and finally give Niagen a try at no risk. So make sure you click on the button below and reclaim your life. Call us today. Supplies are definitely limited. We're here to serve you and help you reach all your health goals. So again I say, take care and live healthy. Still here? This means you have additional questions. I understand. So here are the most frequently asked questions we receive from our customers. What does Niagen do? To put it most concisely, Niagen boosts our cellular NAD+ levels, which improves the function of our mitochondria and makes every cell in our entire bodies operate more efficiently. This enables our body to naturally reverse much of the aging process within our cells and results in an increase in metabolism, brain function, and muscle endurance. Is Niagen safe? Each and every production run of Niagen is tested by 2 independent agencies for label claims, heavy metal contamination, banned substances, and adulteration. Niagen has extensive safety and effectiveness data. You can visit our website for more information. Why was HPN created? HPN was created from performance, nutrition, training, and supplementation, ranging everywhere from elite-level professional and Olympic athletes with one goal, and that is to promote the highest level of human health. If you're ready to change your life to a healthier, more revitalized you, click on the button below and find out how.